Now we will go on to the next presentation. So our next presenter is the president of BSCRS, Professor M. Nazrul Islam, sir. Sir, would you please share your screen?
Okay, is it visible, Maziba?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Maziba, and all the members of the scientific committee of BSCRS, and all my respected persons who are watching this video and webinar. So my topics is tackling the heart cataract, actually my way. So in my presentation, I'll show only my technique. I'll not go to the grammar or the other things that already Dr. Ashpia and Dr. Tushar has showed us. But I will show only my technique, absolutely in my, maybe some people are using, maybe some people are not using. The first of all, is the heart cataracts always very hard, always very difficult? No, it's not. It's only difficult when we find the cataracts are very large, the poor visibility, absent of red glow, cataracts are red cataract, brown cataract, luminescent cataract with leathery fibers. That cataracts are actually difficult. We must have a to-do list before taking a heart cataract. Before taking heart cataract, we must see the patient, investigations, history, what kind of block I'll use, what are the investigations we have to do, shall I continue to phaco, no need to convert the phaco, all these things. And few investigations we must do, like in the slit lamp, you should see the grading of the cataract. You must do the endothelial cell count in this particular microscopy. Must do the base scan because most of the time we cannot see the fundus. So these are the things must do before the surgery. And very important part is counseling. I must tell the patient's attendants and the patient herself and himself that this is not a routine cataract. This may take some longer time. You may need a different model of lens. You may not put the lens today. We may need the help of retina colleagues. So these things must be informed to the patient's attendants. Ring anesthesia is the surgeon choice. Anything they can use. But most of my cases, I do in topical. But whenever I feel I need peribulbar, then I do peribulbar. I give subtenuants also. In my view, this is a very important slide. Why? Because in the operating room, I must inform my colleagues, my assistants, that this thing should be ready for this case, like trypan blue, epinephrine, high density viscoelastic like Viscoat, new faculty, people expander like iris hooks and others. 3-piece IOL, I may need a different IOL, 3-piece IOL, CTR, vitrectomy set, and tenon all these things should be ready. This is the technique. Many surgeons, they do their own technique. I think it's totally surgeon choice, no harm, whatever the technique he is using. But for myself, I use the chop technique most of the time, horizontal, vertical, or terminal, but a little bit modified. Let me show you a chop technique. It's a direct horizontal chop. And I'm using a 3D microscope here. So we have the facility of Callisto. And you can see the image of the capsular axis is 5.5 millimeter. So as Dr. Tushar also mentioned, that capsular axis should be large. It should not be less than 5.5, but should not be more than 5.75 also, because if we make a very large axis, that will again make a problem in the implantation of IOL later on. Do the hydrodissection a little bit and press the nucleus, the fluid escape, and a little bit rotation is important. For the very hard cataract, rotation is not much required, but a little bit less hard cataract, you can do some rotation. In this video, I'll show you how we can make the direct chop, right, horizontal chop. Only thing is that after taking the loose cortex, the epinucleus from above, you take the phaco in the chop mode. That is the less energy, high vacuum, and low pressure, low IOP or less bottle height. It's very important. And go to the nucleus, hold it in the position 2 and lift it up. And with the simple blunt chopper from the periphery, come to the center and you can divide it. Again, divide in the other halves. So this way you can go and divide the smaller pieces. It is better to chop all the pieces, then go for the emulsification mode so that you can emulsify with the torsional energy also. But sometimes if the nuclear fragment comes in front of me, I take it and go and proceed further. So this is, after that, of course, you can finish the case and the similar way you can chop in and you can finish the case. This is one of my older video. Is the direct horizontal chop in a very hard cataract. But doing this cataract, I met some complication in some cases. So what I do now, I don't do this routinely. I have just made myself to make a crater. I will show the video, make a crater in the subincision area, and then go for the chopping. Because in this cataract, if you want to do direct chop, sometimes you can make jonular dehiscence, you can make PCR. So actually it is not reproducible to me. In every case, if I say I'll do 100 cases like this, I'm not sure that 100 cases I'll be successful to that. So I have changed my procedure a little bit towards the crater and chop. So definitely, if anybody, Dr. Manoj can do it, definitely, many people can do it, but I do not do much in this today now. So this is the subincisional crater, and this is my routine chop in the harder cataract. What I am doing, I am making a very small crater, subincisional crater. It is not going even to the center, less to the center. Then you can see how depth it is, how hard it is. Then just hold it from the periphery with the blunt Siniski hook, you bring towards the phaco and divide it. Very easily, usually it divides, and with the very confident, you can divide the nuclear fragments. I tell again, the only thing is the phaco setting is important, because in the chop mode, you have to do longitudinal energy. And with that, you can hold it very nicely, because holding is very important for a chop. And if you can hold it, definitely you can do it. And in emulsification, you change your setting to the emulsification, the torsional energy, that is the quadrant method. And every phaco machine we usually set up in the quadrant mode in the emulsification of the torsional method. So you can easily emulsify it. This is actually a very good glow. You can do direct chop this case. But now it's a one of my recent case. So what you see, I am doing my crater chop. I'm making a small crater just to show you. In all cases, I try to make a crater and just in the position 2, grow the horizontal chop. So this is the horizontal chop, because I'm using a blunt chopper coming from the periphery towards center. So this is the horizontal chop. And this is in most of my cases, maybe 80% of my cases, I practice this method. Other than this soft cataract, actually we can utilize this method in all the cases, the hard cataract. Only thing, the phaco chop, only thing is the horizontal energy, you have to, longitudinal energy, you have to do for the horizontal chop. This is very important. Because if you use the torsional, usually the holding power is very less. So this is my suggestion, that always do the longitudinal energy to do this. Now coming to the vertical chop. Yes, there are some cases when the nucleus is really hard. The horizontal blunt chopper sometimes will not penetrate in the nucleus. In this sort of cases, you have to do vertical chop. So in these cases, I use a sharp chopper, a vertical sharp chopper. And you see, I have gone here and I have just tipped down in just near to the anterior capsule, not exactly in the periphery, just to the anterior capsule. First hold it and pull the nucleus towards you, towards center, and just near the anterior capsule, tip down your vertical chopper and separate it. So this is the vertical chop. And sometimes when the cataract is harder, usually I prefer to do vertical chop. Same kind of setting is important for the chop. That is, I do the chop setting, that is the longitudinal energy for the chop, and the torsional energy for the emulsification. Especially we use the Centurion, the Infinity. We have the facility of doing this. This is a very hard cataract, a one-eyed patient, having small people, very hard cataract, actually Morganian cataract. So I thought I will not take any chance. I'll use the capsular hook. And I'm thankful the capsular hook is given by Dr. Niyaz Abdur Rahman. He uses very small, by 26 in needle, you can put the capsular hook. It's really very nice. It does not make any trauma to the sphincter people. It's really nice. So I'm making, as already we have mentioned, all of us we mentioned, we need a large capsular axis, at least 5.5. So I'm trying the vertical chop, but I failed. So what to do, because it is very hard cataract, I could not. So I extended my trains up to the near about the periphery. Then what I did, I hold it, I brought it to the center, and from the terminal, that is from the equator, I started my chopping. So this is actually called terminal chop. Whenever you hold it in the nucleus, and from the equator, your chopper is coming from the equator towards the center, I call it terminal chop. So this is the Morganian cataract, where usually the horizontal chop, vertical chop sometimes will not work good. So in this sort of cases, I prefer to the terminal chop. So you can see very easily, you can do the terminal chop. And fortunately, the operation went very nice. And next day patient had very good vision, 6/9. So next, it is actually another example of terminal chop. It is a very hard Morganian cataract. So what I'm doing after capsular axis, you see, I prolapse the nucleus, hold in the center, and by a simple Heninsky hook from the other part, from the equator, I separated it. Hold it again in the center, and from the equator, separate it. So this way you can separate 2 or 3 parts, and of course you can emulsify. The only disadvantage of this procedure is the corneal edema. You can make the corneal damage, the endothelial damage. But if you give frequent dispersive OVD, usually the cornea is not become very much damaged. I have done many cases. I have seen if you give 3 or 4 times the OVD frequently, then usually the cornea is not much. And try to emulsify in the iris plane, may not be in the bag, but in the iris plane. So definitely you can be successful to make the phakic emulsification in the very, very hard, the Morganian type of cataract by the terminal chop. As Dr. Tushar mentioned, yes, flags are made our life very easy, because the femtosecond pre-treatment significantly reduces the effective phaco time compared to the conventional phaco surgery, and loss of endothelial cells allowing the faster visual rehabilitation. So in the left-hand side, you can see very easily, I can fracture, I can easily separate it, and I could finish the surgery. But the right-hand side, you can see is really, really very hard cataract. It's a brunescent cataract. It's a black cataract. Even by the flags, it didn't fracture completely. So what I had to do, I had to make my chop also a little bit along with the flags help. So definitely flags can help, but in this cataract, you have to make your own chop also. I do some few rare techniques also, like if the cataract is very hard, your capsule is compromised, then I use the IOL scaffold technique. You can see this technique, I did the rubble rexis, but the second rexis, my rexis went away in the laterally. And so I tried the phaco, but I found it is very, very hard. So I changed my idea. I put the lens in the bag. So I was become a little bit less risk. So with that, I was giving frequent viscoelastic. I made it mechanical cracking. Mechanical cracking much time. And with mechanical and phaco, with frequent viscoelastic, I could succeed the case. So this is what sometimes I do. And this is the divide and conquer. We should not forget. I think most of us here will learn the divide and conquer. Still, we teach our junior colleagues this method. This is an excellent method, divide and conquer. Whenever everything fails, you can go back to divide and conquer. Though I do not do much in this stage, but definitely whenever I feel everything is failed, I go back to divide and conquer. It's one of my very old video. So definitely, whenever you become master of divide and conquer, you can do any kind of hard cataract. So definitely is a very good technique, and we should learn, all of us. Lastly, I would say, in some cases, suppose this is the case of one-eyed person, 82-year-old, the endothelial cell count only 1,200. What will do? Very hard cataract, zonular weakness. So I thought this one-eyed person, I do SICS, I can do SICS confidently. So what I take, I do SICS. So I think there are some cases whenever you feel, at the interest of patient at least, that I can do very good SICS. I think these are the cases when we can do all the SICS to manage the heart cataract. Though I do very rarely, but I suggest even in this sort of cases, we must do. I also suggest that in the first post-op day, all of us should see the fundus, because most of the cases we could not see the fundus. So in the first day, we should try to see the fundus. So friends, in the summary, I should say to the manager of heart cataract, at least to me, we should have the proper pre-op investigations, counseling, and ready of some instruments and equipments that I will. And stain the capsule, all the cases. Even you can see the capsule in brown cataract, you should stain. It has some advantage. Use chopper, and definitely it's a surgeon's choice, whatever method he wants to do it, and proceed with multi-level chopper. As Dr. Tushar was saying, what Dr. Basavada has taught us very nicely that you can do it. You can use you can do the step down in the last piece. It's also taught by Dr. Basavada. And you can use chopper, any type chopper. You can use Nagahara chopper, you can use an Agarwal chopper. So it's up to you, whatever chopper you would. But in my practice, I've seen I use very, very simple Siniski hook and sometimes in the sharp chopper. And I think these are my technique, may not be same with the others, but I hope some of the techniques may be helpful for some of us. Thank you very much.